Hope I find you well. What I wanted to talk about today is something that really caught me for a long time, and it was freezing on a large and small scale, usually because I didn't have enough information. So, for example, I'd have like a day off where I didn't have anything to do, and I wouldn't make a decision as to what to do, right? So I would think, oh, maybe I should exercise, maybe I should go for a walk, yada yada yada. And what would usually happen is I would just end up sitting on Facebook, 9gag, funny junk, crap like that for 5 hours. And that stuff in moderation is fine, but 5 hours that's a long time, guys. No, that's a waste of time, honestly. And, or even after work, right? Like I'd get home from work and just sit on that stuff for a long time. And the reason I wouldn't do anything is because I didn't have a very clear idea of what I wanted to do. Right? And I mean, this is on a large and small scale, because this applies for, like, for example, my work life too. If I was looking for jobs, right? And I didn't really know what I wanted. So basically what would happen is I would just put in a half-assed effort to finding a job, not find anything that really struck me at all, and then I would need money. You know, we get to the point where I needed a job because I needed money, and then I would just take whatever came along. And that's not the best way to live, guys. But looking back at both of these situations, I realized that I had some information, and I was ignoring it. Like, for example, with the day, right? So I didn't really necessarily know what would be best, but for example, I knew that the 9gag and Facebook was a waste of time, so I could have done anything else, really. I could have cleaned my place, I could have worked on these videos more, I could have exercised, gone for a walk, researched something, talked to friends. And you know, a lot of it too is because I had a need to be perfect, and that's garbage, guys. You're never going to make the perfect choice the first time, anyhow. And if you do, it's going to be total fluke, random fluke, just because of the odds involved and yada yada. And the same is true with the jobs. Like, I knew I wanted to help people. That's kind of my shtick. So I could have gone, okay, helping people, respite. Oh, okay. And even if you have no idea, guys, especially with jobs, just do something, because then you're going to learn something, right? So, for example, if you take a sales job and you find out that you absolutely positively hate sales, that's fine. Okay, quit that, find another job, right? But now you know. Now you know that you hate sales, right? So that's one less thing you have to worry about. And you can move on to something else. And two, remember too that if you're applying yourself at anything, you're going to learn. Right? So it doesn't matter what the job is. Even if you hate it, if you manage to apply yourself a little bit, you'll learn something from it. Or even if it's just tolerable and you can apply yourself. I obviously look for something you enjoy, look for something that works for you, but you're going to make some mistakes in the meantime, guys. Don't worry about it. Just keep moving forward, because that's the thing. We think that the first defeat is the final one. The first defeat's never the final one, guys. Unless you let it. If you let it be the final one, then it is, but up to that point, it's not. So in conclusion, work with what, if you have a choice to make with your day or what you're going to do, work with what you know. Look at what you know. So like I said, for example, with your day, you know there's things that are going to be a waste of time. 5 hours of 9gag, that's a waste of time. Don't do that. Try something else. And remember that you don't have to make the perfect choice, guys. You can't make the perfect choice. Logically, anyhow, not with your logical mind, is simply not powerful enough to do that. I mean, maybe the subconscious mind, but we don't understand that fully, I don't think. So, and with larger life decisions, remember that you're gonna make some mistakes, so don't worry about that so much. And again, work with what you know. So if you know you don't like working with people, don't get a job working with people. And this sounds really basic, guys, but I was making these mistakes. I knew things about myself, and I was completely ignoring it. So, I'd remember, too, that no matter what you do, if you're applying yourself, you'll learn something that will be useful. And if you make a mistake, you won't make that mistake again. As always, onward and upward.